Welcome back. The news in details. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi on Monday issued directives to the government and concerned authorities to take all required measures to support our brothers in Libya and Morocco. Earlier, President al-Sisi wrote on his Facebook page that he offers sincere condolences to the Libyans over the victims of the storm that hit the country. Egypt's foreign ministry offered condolences and support to storm-hit Libya and said in a statement that it wishes a speedy recovery for the injured. The statement came as the head of Libya's Eastern Parliament-backed government said more than 2,000 people had died in a storm and flooding during a phone interview with the local television station.
The head of the Red Crescent in Benghazi said on Friday that a powerful storm and heavy floods have killed 150 people in the eastern Libyan city of Derna over the last 2 days, and the death toll is expected to rise to 250. Footage on social media showed people stranded on the roofs of their vehicles as Storm Daniel hit Benghazi, El Baida, El Marj and Derna, a city on the Mediterranean some 250 kilometers east of Benghazi, and reportedly the worst hit with the storm. In media remarks, the Red Crescent's Qais Fakiri chief described the situation as being very catastrophic, as hundreds of buildings collapsed, thousands were injured, and many are still missing, noting that the toll in other areas was not immediately clear. The Libyan National Army meanwhile said that the missing include 7 of its members. Libyan TV broadcast footage showing heavy floods washing away vehicles and also posted pictures of a collapsed road between Saharat and the other city, home to the Greek-founded and UNESCO-listed archaeological site Cairene. Accordingly, Libya's parliament declared 3 days of mourning, and Prime Minister of Libyan interim government in Tripoli, Abdelhamid El-Dibeiba, also declared 3 days of mourning in all the affected cities, calling them disaster areas. 4 major oil ports in Libya were also closed since Saturday evening for 3 days. Meanwhile, search and rescue operations were ongoing, supported by the authorities' declaration of a state of extreme emergency, closing schools and stores and imposing a curfew.
Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli affirmed that the National Forum for Investment will be held in the first half of next year within the framework of the state's economic reform program. The Premier's remarks came during the meeting of the Supreme Ministerial Committee on Monday. During the meeting, Madbouli followed up projects of the Public Authority for Investment that aim at improving investment environment. Meanwhile, Madbouli also was briefed on a progress report of measures to upgrade old historical Cairo area. Chairman of the National Election Authority, Walid Hamza, signed a joint cooperation protocol on Monday with Minister of Social Solidarity, Navina Qabbaj, and General Supervisor of the National Council of People with Special Needs, Iman Karim. The protocol tackles facilitating measures of voting during the electoral process for people of special needs and helping them practice their political rights. The agreement also aims at training youth cadres to support people with special needs in casting their votes and raise awareness of their families on the importance of their participation in the political life within the framework of the authority's goals. The Ministry of Interior launched the 24th phase of the Decent Life Initiative under the auspices of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. The new phase kicked off coinciding with the start of the new academic year. It aims to provide school supplies at about 40% discount. Meanwhile, MN stores will exhibit food packages with a discount of 50% at all of its outlets nationwide. Welcome back. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli on Monday held a meeting to follow up new projects in the Chinese industrial zone, Tida, Egypt, that is part of the Suez Canal's economic zone. Madbouli said the government considers Chinese investments highly important in light of keen interest shown by a growing number of Chinese companies to invest in Egypt. The Prime Minister said the growing Chinese investors seek considerable investment incentives offered by Egypt as well as the huge market and the great potentials of exporting to nations and blocs that have free trade agreements with Egypt. Egypt's stock market indices collectively slid at the end of the trading session on Monday after being affected by high rates of profit-making operations. The benchmark EGX 30 index slid by 1.53%. The EGX 70 index for small and medium businesses also shed 0.91%. And the broader EGX 100 index also retreated by 1.05%. The market capital of listed companies lost £15 billion to close at £1,298 billion amid transactions of about £3.1 billion.